Hi, this is Larry from concession.com. concession.com. Just making a quick video so you can get a general idea of what you might need when you're setting up your concession trailer. This setup here is something that we do for draining all the water lines for those of you who live in cold climates. We actually put it in every single unit. It's a great many good reasons for doing that. So we'll just get right into it real quick and let you know what's what. In your water tank, you're going to have a feed line coming in to fill it. That feed line ultimately comes from an external spigot. So there's an external spigot that you'll use to attach your hose and feed water into your concession trailer from your home or business. We even offer a pump setup for people who are in remote locations that you can make this attachment and pump from typical water tanks. So what will happen is you'll end up with a furnace for heating your hot and cold, for heating your hot water for your sinks, and you're going to have hot and cold water lines running to everything. And all of that, at the end of the day, is going to need to be drained if you're going to leave it overnight, and so you don't have to heat it. So this setup here is specifically designed for that purpose. So up here we have little nipples that will receive braided line, much like this. So the braided line will come in to each of these ports. This will be set on the wall, standing up in this fashion. So there'll be one coming in from the top. That will likely be from the freshwater tank, or from the hot and cold water. Then we have another one will come in from somewhere else, and somewhere else, and somewhere else. This setup here, this is a valve that we have connected, and this will close off this area here, and it will allow the water from your pump, here's a pump, so it'll allow the water from the pump to go right through this and continue on to feed the water tank. And then at the end of the day, we will run all of the water until it runs out into the waste tank, and thus emptying all of the water tank completely. After the water tank's completely empty, after the sinks have been run and whatnot, we will open this port, and this will allow the line to the spigot and the line to the water tank, each to come back into here, go down, and ultimately out through the floor. So this would remain closed all of the time other than the very end of the day. And then in addition to that, this line here, the very bottom, will get a hose attached to it, and that hose is going to run right straight out the bottom of the floor, so that when we empty all of our lines, it just drops right out on the ground, because this is only going to be water that is still trapped in our water pump, our water heater, water lines, to any sinks, furnaces, or other. So you just need to have something of this sort. Now you can use a bunch of soft line and tees and whatnot. We don't prefer. We think that just looks a little messy. We have done a little of both over the years, and this is what we find we like the best. So we'll just go through this really quick one more time. This would be, for instance, a cold water line, all the cold water lines to the sinks and to the furnace. This would be the hot water lines running to all the sinks. This would be, for instance, the overflow from the freshwater tank. You need an overflow, otherwise when you're filling your water tank, you're going to blow up your tank with the pressure. And you're going to want to know when your tank is full. So an overflow connected to the water tank will allow that water, when the tank is full, to come through the system and bleed out through to the ground. So hot and cold, you've got your overflow. You have one line that drains your pump between the pump and the sinks and whatnot, because your pump will be a little lower. Then you have these two, one on each side, with a closed off valve that will drain your spigot coming in, and that amount of line from here to your water tank. So if you're building your own unit, I think it's extremely important that you pay attention to all of this. Otherwise, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be buying an awful lot of antifreeze that they use for campers and whatnot, and you really don't want all that in your system. Forget putting that in water tanks and things like that. You're really setting yourself up for a nightmare if you don't have some kind of setup for bleeding water lines in concession trucks and trailers. Now, if you're totally unfamiliar with all of this and you just want somebody to do a whole setup for you, we do offer packages to people who are trying to do their best to build their own. These packages would include water tanks, water pump, all of this setup, as well as all of the balance of the plumbing. There's quite a bit of it that's done in copper as well, with lots of valves and lots of fittings that you would connect to. So we offer packages where we'll send you literally the entire setup. So you would have 1 or 2 sinks, one for dishes, one for hand wash, or 3 dish sinks and a hand wash sink, everything completely ready to go. We're happy to do those setups for you. We typically try to do that in downtime. We haven't had much downtime at Boston Concession. In fact, we run typically 4 to 6 weeks from an order date to a completion date. At this point, it's now October. Typically later in the year and early in the year, that time frame gets a little bit longer due to the numbers of orders. So check us out at bostonconcession.com. If you're doing your best to do your own thing, I hope this has been a big help. Just that you know you need to do these things to protect all the plumbing and the lines and the faucets and heaters. If this has been of help to you, if you look just below this video, to your left, there's a little button that says like. I'd appreciate it if you click it. Just lets me know that some of these videos that I put out there just to be helpful are appreciated. So best of luck building your own concession if that's what you're doing. And I'm more than happy to just share with all of you some of these things that you're going to need to do or need to have in your concession trailer. Alright, bye for now. Check out some of our other videos at bostonconcession.com.